What up, Devil? Sensei Tutum here with the weekly EOS update. Gonna stick to the dollar chart for now. As you see, last week we said that we would like to see a test of this outer parallel before the market would turn up for whatever the next move up would be. We have the three counts that we're looking at. If you took a long off this low based on this parallel, based on the Fibonacci, then you are in a great position, especially if you got it down here in the golden corner pocket. Now, that does not mean we can't make lower lows here. And if that were to happen, I would give a lot of credence to this red count, which is the most bearish or the most limited upside of the three counts that I gave last week. So if we were to make a lower low after this, I would say that the red count is probably moved into the primary location or primary count priority. However, if you took this long, you should be able to safely have a break-even trade here. Whether you are a bit aggressive with your stop and place it under the a break of this support that you took a long on, or if you were to place it as low as 461. In any event, you should be in a break-even trade at the very least here, fellas. And with the potential, of course, that you could go down. But there's always a potential that the market could go against you. So instead of mincing over this price action, is it a 1 with a flat 2? Is it a whatever? Let's look at the forest through the trees, and let's just talk about the market in general. Because if you're in the same macro mindset as me, we know that, well, we think that we're going for lower lows, or at least at the very least a test of the lows on the whole market. So what do we see? What we see here is we have this pitchfork, which this is a logarithmic chart. And on this pitchfork, this is a shift version of the same one on the last chart you saw where we were striking the median, but because it's logarithmic, it doesn't hold the market as well in the original. But as you see on the shift, we have held this very well. And as a pitchfork trader, what you would do when you see a test of this median after we've already been within this channel, you would take a long for the test of the upper channel that we've already tested. So just from a pitchfork perspective, you would also be long here. Of course, we have the larger degree Gann square and fib time sequence to take a look at here. And there's a bit of a conflicting report, a little bit of a conflicting idea here, because at each one of these arcs, we have found resistance at the arc, whether it be coming down into it. But once we get to it from the low side, we move up generally within it, or, so see, once we get in here, move up. Once we get in here, move up. We did go through and down from there, but we're not worried about that right now. What we're worried about is our trade. So we would think that once we get to this arc, we would go up within. So we could have a good trading opportunity. And then, of course, but if we look at these fib time levels, at each one, we have seen a drop significantly just after. Of course, we don't have a lot of data there, a lot of previous action. So I wouldn't take too much into account there, but be aware of it. So do we get through here and then break down to the downside, giving, like I said, a lot of credence to that red count, and then move up from here? Or, do we get through it and then find resistance and then break out? Not surprising, the market's been fairly sideways, as we have expected since all the way back here. We have had some movement, but it hasn't been a lot of action. We could see some action with this fib time level coming up. What I would say, especially if you're long and you're looking for let's call it a swing to this, to this side of the channel, look at this parallel. You do not want to have a, bearish break of this parallel, or I'm sorry, this median line. So if you're looking at it from a larger degree perspective for a sort of a swing trade, a break of this and you'd want to be out. So yeah, fellas, I think that this is a pretty important chart to look at. The forest through the trees look, just of course logarithmic, and this geometry does apply on the arithmetic level as well, but just wanted to cover this log. All right, signing out.